Cool. All right, welcome to the 12-week JST row program. Just going to talk you through what it looks like over the next 12 weeks of maybe staying indoors. Week 1 to 6, that's going to be released today. So John's going to put that on Fitter later on. And then we're going to have a week 7 to 12 to follow. It's going to be a mixture, so a mixture of sprint and medium distance intervals. Some low rate work, so that works at like 18 to 20 strokes per minute. And some longer endurance stuff, so 30 to 60 minutes on the rower. Okay, so not for the faint-hearted. 2 to 5 weeks per week, workouts per week. We're going to have some notes on the video as well, just to explain what that looks like. For most people starting new into this, probably the two sessions a week will work well, and you can build up to the 5 sessions over the 6 weeks. Hopefully, when you get to the 7 to 12 week period, most of you will be up to that five workouts a week. What you'll need to do this is a baseline 5K. So on the first 2 days of week 1, you've got that chance to do a 5K. So that will show you how you can set that up on there as a single distance, what information you need to get from your rower, so your average pace, your time taken, and we'll use that. Obviously, you need a rowing machine, so I think most of you took one home. If you can't get access to one, maybe try and organise it with somebody else to come along to it, obviously at different times, so you're not close together. But yeah, try and get access to a rowing machine. And then you need to set up the rower. So we're going to show you how that looks like, what you need to be looking at, strokes per minute, how you set up the things that change, so the foot plates, damper settings. We're going to have a quick look at that in a bit. Cool, all right, we're going to look at the setup now. So the things that you can change and alter in a rower. We'll look at foot plates, and then we'll look at damper setting or drag factor. So what you're going to set your damper on when you come to your workout. So the first thing you're going to do is look at foot plates. So one of you put your feet in. In its simplest terms, obviously you're not going to have too many coaches looking at you all the time. You want the strap across the broadest part of your foot. So you don't want them across your toes, or you don't want them too high up in your laces, just so it allows some heel movement to come off when you're coming in and out. If you want to adjust it, the way you do that, take your feet out if you want, is you lift up these to move them up or down. Okay, so you want to get back to that point where, like I say, it's across the broadest part of your foot. When you're looking at your damper setting, so you'll see numbers 1 to 10 on here. They are quite faint. What we're going to look at on here, so when you look at drag factor, you need to go into your monitor, you look at more options, and then you click on display drag factor. Then you'll need to start to row. And as you start to row, you'll see a number start to come up on your screen. This number is affected by what you have your damper setting on here. If you want to take your drag factor up, you take your damper setting up a little bit. Just as a guidance for this, ideal setting for females, 120 to 125. For the guys, 130 to 135. Cool, okay, we're going to look at some technique pointers now, just keep it really brief, just some things to kind of make sure you're nailing down over the next 12 weeks. So if you're coming to the front end of the rower, this is your catch position. In this position, you want a nice strong back, okay, shoulders are relaxed forward, just a nice neutral position with the head, arms are straight. So that's your catch position. And then we're going to look at the back end of the strokes. This is the finishing position. Again, you want your elbows tucked in, so not flared out. You want a nice neutral wrist position, thumbs underneath the handle, pulling in towards kind of the sternum position. Your torso position, we're looking at about 11 o'clock. So if you think 12 o'clock is here, we want to go back to about 11 o'clock. What we don't want to see when we do this, a lot of people start to overreach and lean too far back. Come into that a nice 11 o'clock position. Okay, now we'll look at what happens in between the two positions, so the finish towards the catch. We're going to start at the end point and work our way back in. So the first thing that moves in this position is your arms come forward, then the hips start to break, and then your knees soften and you roll into that nice strong catch position. When we're in that catch position, the first thing that wants to move in this position is you drive with the legs first, keeping that torso angle, hips open, pulling in with the arms. The first thing we're going to look at now for looking at strokes per minute. So we're going to work at a 20 stroke rate per minute. So that it's a really nice rate to look at your stroke. So it's 1 second out and 2 seconds back in. And it really looks at working and piecing those components of the stroke together. So it's like I say, it's 1 second out, 2 seconds back in. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, she nailed it. Come on, everyone, you've got to get to 20.
I think 19, she can handle the pressure then.
Oh, there it is.
20.
Just 20.
Okay, so now we're going to look at some higher stroke rate stuff. So on the program, you'll see some workouts that has rate restrictions. So 18, 19, 20, 21 strokes per minute. So that's what we're going to look at, the slower stuff. But most of the interval work will be at your normal rate. And we want to try and get this to around about maybe 26 at the lowest, up to 32 strokes per minute. So I'm just going to show you what this looks like. So nothing changes with the stroke. All you'll find is that the recovery back in towards the rower is a little bit quicker, and you can see that the rate starts to increase. Okay, so most of the workouts on the program are going to be interval-based programs. So the way you do this, you go to select workout, new workout, and then intervals, and there are your options. Interval distance, so say you're doing a 500 meters with a rest, enter your rest in there. If it's a time interval, it's interval time, again a select your time. You do that by your plus and minus to take the digit along. Just press that arrow. So that's for your intervals, time and distance. If some of the workouts have got different interval lengths, intervals variable is the one you use. So say you're going to do a 5k, 1 minute rest, 4k, 1 minute rest, 3k, 1 minute rest. This is the one to use for that. So just to show you that, it would be distance. We'll use 500 meters. That's your first interval. Would be 1 minute rest. Say your second interval was a 400 meters. Use a distance. Change that to 400 meters. The third interval was 300. That's the way you do that. So intervals variable.